Well, we are Minority Recovery Collective, Inc., also known as MRCI, because everybody needs a little mercy, right? We specialize in all things recovery for Black, Indigenous, and people of color. That's what we're here for. We're here to stand in the gap. It's interesting for the fact that when we look at opioid and look at a person who's addicted versus how the major culture looks at opioid and the person who's addicted, there's a lot of disconnect there. One, because one community might not be able to pinpoint what the problem is versus another one saying, yep, I know exactly what that is. Let me go get you some help.
And I feel like that also has to do with what area you stay in, the more urban areas, I feel like. There was a big, huge, I don't know if you guys remember, the meth pandemic that happened here. Blacks have been having an issue with that for years. And I feel like we were jailed for that. And I feel like when it hit the Beach Grove areas in the South Side, where it's a predominantly white community,
Blow up.
I've seen them kind of, now you see on the news, hey, you can get help here. We're doing this for you guys. There's this outreach program. But when the blacks were all over the streets, homeless and looking for help, that access was not there.
Yeah.
When the drug gets more prevalent in the Caucasian community, other than the Black community, I feel like the actual laws change. And on our side, when it comes to the drugs and the addictions and stuff like that, it's always a negative change. Like they might change the law for people to get locked up more for a certain thing. But on the other side, when it started affecting them, then they started changing some things with the law so that they get lesser time, or they don't even go to jail. You know, they go to a recovery center or something like that.
The amount of people who look like us who are going to go to jail for having, as Keith would say, a certain amount on them versus someone who is of a different complexion is still going to be totally different. It's still just about the same as when the crack epidemic hit heavy in the 80s and 90s.
I feel like being black, you're already stereotyped. So I feel like anything that you kind of do goes with the stereotype or feeds into some kind of negative connotation about what we go through as black people. And I feel like instead of recognizing that that person, okay, is going through something, they have a struggle, that's an addiction, they need help, it's more seen like, oh, that's just them being black. That's just them doing what they normally do. That's them acting foolish. Push them over there. That's what they're known for. That's the normal thing. We just gonna leave them how they are.
I would also say the criminalization of Black and brown bodies who have substance use disorder not only affects the individual, but it affects the rest of the community, because if I'm going through something, it then makes me fearful to even reach out for assistance. So the criminalization not only makes it hard for people like me and my organization, of trying to get people used to having that conversation and feeling comfortable, but it also takes away that sense of hope that somebody else is out there because that person next to me already got in trouble.
I think another thing that is really big is changing mindsets and mentalities. I feel like that goes a long way because I feel like in 2021, people still don't see it as a drug addiction, as a mental illness.
Um, it's gonna sound corny and cliche, but I think what society can do to change things around is bigger than black and white. I feel like if we start treating each other as a whole, as a collective, as one, it'll be different. You know, like if they go into our communities and start getting to know us more, then I think it'll be a better process. We won't be strangers or dangerous to them. They'll know that we are all human beings. And that could change the whole process and way of life, I feel.
I think one thing that high schoolers, middle schoolers, general public can do to help with that, to kind of go along with what you said, when you meet somebody, automatically think, I don't know you. I mean, it's really that simple. I don't know you. I don't know where you've been. I don't know what background you come from. I don't know what's happened in your household. You don't know the other person. And give them as much grace and give them as much mercy as you would like. And it's that simple.